We lost a member
Yeah.
of our wrestling community in the most horrendous, horrible way possible. Jay Briscoe lost his life last week. His little girls are still in a big fight. We'll throw up the link below so you can go ahead and make a donation to his family if you're so inclined to do so. But man, talk about a guy who was maybe at the peak of his career and now gone way, way too soon. I'm curious what you thought of his work and if you had a chance to meet or spend any time with Mr. Briscoe.
I didn't know either Jay or Mark that well, but I saw them a number of times over the years. I did a little article. I think the first time I saw them was 2005, I believe, or 2006. I had helped Carrie, the Ring of Honor owner, find a building on Long Island. It was a place about 10 minutes from my house, and I knew the guy who was the events coordinator. He ran a world-class haunted attraction there, and so I felt good that here was a company I really enjoyed working for. I was able to land them a good building, and then I went to the show, and I even dropped an elbow on Jimmy Rave from the ring apron. You know, I was feeling it. And that was the first time I saw those. I believe, you know, it may turn out I met them in 2004 and can't remember it, but I do remember like just how enthusiastic they were, passionate about their work, and it was a surprise in some ways that they never got the larger stage, and I think that comes down to one ill-advised tweet nine
Yeah.
years ago. So I think there's a lesson for the younger wrestlers, like when in doubt, feel it out. Because I think you can say that's the only reason that those guys
Oh,
were
for
not in
sure.
WWE, because they were characters.
Yes.
In addition to, you know, being amazing in-ring workers, and I
Yes.
saw them from the front row at Rick's last match. Um, that they worked with a who's who of the some of the biggest stars, and to show you how highly thought they were. Not that you can ever express your value on someone by your contribution to a fundraiser, but typically, like when you kick in $1,000, that's on the high end of what his coworkers do. And Jericho contributed $15,000.
Yes.
Kevin Owens like 10. There were a number of people that donated really sizable amounts of money.
Yes.
I don't care how much money you're making, 15 grand, 10 grand, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And these guys had no hesitation because they thought so highly of both Jay and his brother. I thought these guys, they could work with anybody. That's the thing. They could work any style. When they'd go to Japan, you know they're going to have a good match.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually Googling, trying to find which of the Briscoes dropped the elbow off the ring apron. Do you know which one it was?
Mark.
Mark. Because, hey,
The froggy bow off the top.
that's a
Yeah.
better elbow than I dropped. I
Right.
wish it wasn't. Maybe I had one or two that were in that category, but he was a better athlete, doing something, that looked really impressive, but would be even more impressive with added athleticism. And I always knew that, and that's the guy who ended up doing the better flying elbow than I did. I also saw, they had a wanted shirt.
Yes.
And I'm not sure I ever spoke about it. I know the way I felt about it. And the way I felt about it was, hey, these guys have worked so hard. They're among many who have given more to the business than the business has given back to them. If they can make some money on a shirt, that was similar to mine, that's no issue for me. That's no problem at all. I have way more of an issue with bootleg shirts,
Right.
than I do of something that could be considered a little bit of
Homage.
an homage. But these guys were tremendous workers. Like I said, I didn't get to know them very well on a personal level. Last time I spent any time with them was at the Moxley Nick Gage match,
Okay.
where we just had one of those small dressing rooms. It was just I think it was the four of us: Briscoe's, me, and Effie. So that's those are some disparate personalities in there. But I always had the deepest admiration for them as workers, and it seems to me like they had the respect of their colleagues. And man, my prayers go out to those two girls.
Yes.
So even if people are looking at the amount raised and saying, "Well, that's incredible," well, keep in mind that the father, the breadwinner, has been taken from them. The girls might face substantial and lengthy medical
Yes.
challenges, and so I do encourage people, whether they knew Jay and or not, whether they were big advocates of his work or not, to kick in a little something because it all adds up.